Hello friends, this is Sharmi with the Amateur Gardener, getting back to you with another video. This year I'm planning to do something different. I am planning to up my ground cover game for this year. So I will be planting a lot more grasses, a lot more ground covers. You all may have seen the Eversheen Verbena that I have planted in one of my large garden beds. I call it my triangle bed, significantly large bed, and it covered the area really well, and I have to do very little weeding in that area. So now this year I'm definitely going to plant a lot more ground covers. I have ordered some Homestead Purple Verbena. I am going to plant it in a lot of different places, and I also have ordered some Carex grass, which go in mostly shady areas. So I'm going to plant it in a bed, one of my shade beds under my large magnolia tree, and they need very little care for us. They are evergreen for us in zone 9. I hardly ever had to cut it back. I have it in one of my hydrangea beds by the shed. I call it my Big Daddy bed because it has a Big Daddy hydrangea in there, and it has been doing awesome. I ordered 10 of them and they are all there and they are doing beautiful. So I plan to plant more of it. It's the Eversheen Carex, and I'm going to plant that one, and the other one that I'm going to plant is a lot more asters. It's actually Stokesia, blooms mostly in late summer, fall-ish, and it has purple blooms. So I'm going to share with you. I have like a whole bunch, like a whole flat of that, and I'm going to put it in certain places. My roses start tapering off in the fall, like late fall, and it would be lovely to see some beautiful purple color there from perennials. And the reason I like perennials is that I don't have to keep planting it from year to year, and it just comes back and blooms at the time that it has to. And for us, mostly they are evergreen, but then if I get a freeze or a frost, they may die back, but I don't have to worry about it. They always come back very reliably in our zone 9 weather. Okay, so without much talking, let me take you along and let's show you. So this is what I'm trying to get planted today. These are, let me show you the tag. This is called the EverColor series of Carex grasses. This one is particularly Eversheen Carex. I have tried Everylow Carex in my garden before. It didn't work so well. But let me show you another place where I have these Eversheen grasses planted. It's in my shade bed. This one is the Big Daddy Hydrangea. But then you can see that the Carex is doing really awesome here, and I love the look. And this bed is practically has almost no weeds, and there's some pulmonaria or some heuchera, as well as some lamium here, all shade stuff. Some 2 of my Sasenqua camellias, and then 1, 2, and 1 as you turn around there's another oak leaf hydrangea there. And then I do have diamond ball clematis there that is just barely starting to leaf out. But anyway, and then we do have some hellebore there. But otherwise, it's I love the look, and it needs almost no care. So I am going to plant them here, like from here all across. And I think it'll be like a bright spot in this mostly shady area. It does get some morning sun, but otherwise it has a huge canopy of 1, 2, 3 trees. So we have the big magnolia tree, if you can see here, dense canopy. There is a ever-growing plum tree here, which is full of plums, and I love it. This is the first year where I'm seeing lots of plums. It's hard to see because the fruits now have the same color as the leaves. And then there is another huge plum and apricot 2-in-1 tree, and that tree has been here for 13 years. So it's a big fat tree there. I should have pruned that tree before, but I digress. And then I have some spreading phlox here. They came back. I have some hosta, and then this one looks like a hosta, but it is not. This one is a Peruvian lily. It's a reddish flower. I have some Daphne at the back, and then some iron plant at the back. So I think it's called aspidistra. Oh, one more thing. I have this one is a little bit of like a sunny spot, so I put my colocasia there. And this one is a rodeo japonica. It produces like reddish kind of fruit. It looks really cool. So that's another shade thing that I have there. So plan is to go around this whole front and plant the Carex. And let me take you through parts of it and you can tell me what you think. And then I have my usual stuff, my biotone, starter fertilizer. I'm going to just add a little bit in the soil, and then otherwise I did put some compost in this area, so soil is good. A lot of people ask me what I do about the soil, given that Houston in my area has a lot of clay. Well, I have been gardening for the last 5 years, and over 5 years I have kind of modified my soil with pine bark mulch, with compost laid as a small layer every year. So over a period of time I really have to dig like fairly deep, so like a foot at least, to hit clay. Okay, so let's get going. So I just laid the plants there, and you can see some morning sun here, but by afternoon, like, this will all move to the west, and then this area will be in shade. And this area also has drip irrigation set up. You can see the pipes running. I've never had a problem with my drip lines getting blocked up. I could have done annuals here and that would have given me color, but this is kind of maintenance free for me. And since this area doesn't get too much sun, it is best for me to do some kind of thing that I don't have to care about every year. Perennials I typically put with some biotone, not that it's something you have to. It's my preference, and I find that it works pretty well for me. For Carex grasses, you can actually cut them back. I think these were cut back last year, depending on the zone you're growing it in. If you're growing it in a cooler zone, the foliage will probably die back. I have not done it for my plants, and my plants stayed evergreen throughout the winter. I wish I could grow more shady stuff, but I have like few shade spots in my garden. But there are lots of perennials that you can do in a shade garden bed. I have some hydrangeas in some of my shade garden. Hydrangeas actually will take full sun in northern climates, but given that I am gardening in Houston, our summers get really hot and the plants start suffering. So I have found that if I can figure out a shade kind of area with moist-ish soil microclimate, so which is what I do with drip irrigation, but that works really well for my hydrangeas. I've been growing hydrangeas since, I think the first one I planted was 2017, and then my love for them has always grown, and now I have at least 25 of them of various kinds. Some of them are actually in full sun and they do quite well, but then if you are looking for like the colorful ones, the typical macrophylla hydrangeas, those in our climate, I would recommend planting them in at least partial sun, because otherwise the heat gets it, and you have to somehow manage to keep them alive the first year. After the first year, they start adapting, I would say, to your local weather. I keep some of this rocks here and there. Sometimes I just like the look of isolated flagstone rocks, or sometimes once in a while if it gets really cold and I'm having to cover them for whatever reason. There's nothing in this bed to really cover, but then if I get a very late freeze and I don't want to lose my blooms of the hydrangea, then I use this rock to kind of keep the frost cloth in place. We're done. I've got questions about where I buy my plants from. And I do go to big box stores like Home Depot or Lowe's, but I have been going there less frequently these days, unless I go to buy soil or something like that. But I do go to one of my local nurseries, Cornelius. And if you're from the Houston area, I would recommend going to the one on Voss Road more than the others. I have not seen the new one they have started at Heuchera, but I think the one on Voss Road has better plants than Sugarland or Katy. That's it. I think they all are, quality wise they are the same, but it's up to you. I do get a lot of my plants sometimes, especially annuals, and sometimes some specialty plants from a wholesale nursery in the Houston area. That said, a lot of my plants I do buy online. I know sometimes I have to pay for shipping, sometimes I don't, but the advantage of buying things online is I don't have to be restricted by whatever is available in the nursery, whether I want it or not. I do read up some, try to do my homework before I plant something, before I try out anything. It's probably coming from my science background, but don't want something that the box stores will tell me versus I've done my research about it and are willing to give it a shot. I don't worry so much about covering my drip lines. What I've seen from my experience is that as the plants grow, they start covering them up automatically. And sometimes when I'm adding like layers and layers of compost every year, part of it gets covered. And if it doesn't, try to kind of bring them up a little bit to the top, but I haven't had a problem with them getting clogged yet for the 3 years I have had this drip line. And if it does, it's an easy fix. All of my plants other than my grass are on drip. I do not overhead water anything. It's already starting to look good. Okay, so giving you a look of the area, it already has started to brighten up the space more. This area, the first, I think the second and third plant, a little bit of sun now, but believe me, they'll all be in shade soon. And this half is already in shade, and that is how it's going to be the rest of the day. It's like kind of midday now, and I'll give you a view of this place, how it looks a few days from now in my next garden tour video. But otherwise looks pretty good to me, and most importantly, maintenance free. As I was saying, that I am going to definitely up my ground cover game and my grasses that I am going to plant here, ornamental grasses. But let me know what y'all think of this video. If you did like it, do hit a like and do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends and family. And otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.